In this video, we introduce Step 1, Measuring Emissions. We'll provide more context to the importance of this step, as well as information on boundary setting and choosing a baseline year. You may wonder, what exactly are the emissions I need to measure? The Greenhouse Gas Protocol has developed universally recognized standards to support organizations in understanding their climate impacts. It defines emissions as direct or indirect and can be categorized further into 3 scopes. Scope 1. Direct emissions from sources your business owns or controls, such as from boilers. Scope 2. Indirect emissions from the purchase of energy that is consumed by your business, like electricity. And Scope 3. Indirect emissions that occur because of your business activities, but from sources that are not owned or controlled by you, such as your supply chain. Scope 1 emission sources are where you will have the most control over the emissions and can make changes such as cleaner fuels, while Scope 3 is the most challenging, as organizations have the least control here and often require discussion with value chain partners. This toolkit is focused on Scope 1 and 2 emissions and how you can quantify and reduce these to achieve net zero. Now that you better understand what emissions you should track, it's time to think about emission boundaries. Before calculating your footprint, you must define the organizational boundary of the emissions that you are calculating. These can be set based on equity share, or either operational control or financial control. The most used boundary is operational control. Once you have defined your emissions boundary, the next step is to choose a baseline year. The baseline year should include robust data that is most representative of business activities and not impacted by significant changes. It will be used to measure the impact of the changes implemented by your business. Now that you have your emission boundary and baseline year, you can begin calculating your emissions. Learn how to calculate your emissions baseline in the video below. Check out the other videos in this series, where we dive into greater detail on each step.